with 8 different songs.
Have you ever been zapped by a Bigfoot? Not that I know of. I've only felt like I was zapped one time, and that may have not even had anything to do with Bigfoot. It was while I was in Sholo investigating the circumstances around the trailer, and we still don't know what it was, whether it was a Bigfoot, UFO, or paranormal ghost type events, or a combination. So in that particular case, it was during the daytime. I all of a sudden became ill, could hardly stand up. I was dizzy, nauseated, and so forth, and we actually headed for the hospital. We got about 5 miles down the road, and it cleared up. Everything was fine, and I've been fine ever since. So could I have been zapped? Possibly. Was it Bigfoot? Don't know. Not likely, because I really don't think the Bigfoot hang around the trailer during the day. Connie says, have you ever encountered any Sasquatch that caused you concern for your safety? The answer is yes. I have accidentally surprised them a couple of times, and they let me know under no certain terms that I was not welcome. Every time I paused in leaving, a bigger rock was thrown. Their vocalizations were basically telling me, move it on, Buster, or face the consequences. So I respect that. Perhaps over time I will be able to return to those areas and show them that I'm not a threat and win them over. That would be great. So there's a few things. Never surprise them, never corner them. Give them a chance to escape, and they will. They'll leave peacefully. Never smile showing your teeth. Unfortunately, that is, teeth are for fighting and biting, and they take that wrong. Okay? A few other things about safety is whenever you're near them, do not reply to any challenges or copy their movements. Let them be the dominant. Because if you challenge or match their movements or their vocalizations or whatever, you might be accepting a challenge and you might get yourself in trouble. Never look them directly in the eyes. Always watch to your peripheral vision. Look down. Give them respect. They are the dominant species in the forest. If charged, you should drop to the fetal position and ball up as tightly as you can. If you feel if they realize that you are no threat, more than likely any charge that they've instigated will only end up with maybe a couple of bashes or a kick, or maybe they might pick an arm up or something to look at it or something like that. But if you're not fighting them, they will more than likely break it off and go away. Okay. Do you feel there are clans more advanced than other clans? The answer is yes. They seem to have different attitudes. Some are more inquisitive than others. Some may even be more intelligent than others. So, yeah, they're not all the same. They're not all equal. And I sometimes think that some will avoid contact with the others. So, especially between the more human-like and the more primitive-like types. Do you think they are aware of the negative impact we are having on the Earth's environment? To a certain extent. I mean, they know that we can kill from a distance. They know we're encroaching on their territories. They know that we use their resources. They know we use cattle, horses, and these kind of funny looking metal block boxes that we climb into and travel around instead of walking. They may even feel sorry for us because we can't really take care of ourselves because we need all these animals and gadgets and stuff like that. We have to bring our shelters, trailers, tents, whatever. We have to eat packaged food that is not a fresh kill or gathered out of the field. We cannot run very fast, we can't see very well, and we can't really smell anything, and we can't hear any danger coming upon us. We don't know what plants are for food and what's not for food. So they probably know we're responsible for their immediate areas. But they may not know that we're responsible for all the pollution, the violence, and so forth that happens in the world for, like global warming or something like that. They probably don't know that. They know that they probably don't know that we poison ourselves with preservatives and additives and stuff like that. Which brings us up to the cookies and the treats and stuff that I leave them. Okay. Basically, it's fairly harmless what we do because the amounts and frequency that they get cookies or something like that is not very often. Basically I don't concentrate in just one area for weeks at a time and keep doling out cookies and ding-dongs and stuff like that. I don't do that. Usually I'm only a day or so in one particular area. I leave them a treat and then I move on somewhere else. Now I know that processed sugar is not good for them. It's not good for us. But the amounts that they get and the frequency they get it is not going to cause tooth decay or cause them diabetes or anything like that. In fact, we're not even sure if they would be prone to suffer from stuff like that. However, it is a method to tweak their interest. It's fairly not, it's not harmful in any long-term situation. It's not like we're shooting a Bigfoot or anything like that, but we do need to learn about them. And so we have run taste tests, okay? We've put out all kinds of foods to try to figure out what they like and what they don't like. And therefore, we put out what they like in order to get them to come to us. Once we've established friends and stuff like that, maybe then we'll start swapping over to a more healthy diet, okay? Again, that depends on how often and how much. So, we'll leave it at that. I will continue to leave them cookies and so forth to draw them in, to reward them and so forth, because that is what they want. I can't get them to eat the healthy foods. They have apples. They don't want apples. They have apples on the trees that they can get for themselves. And therefore, if I leave an apple on the table or out for them, it sits there. They're not interested. Okay? They seem to want what they can't get for themselves. And mostly in their world, everything is bitter, bland, or pretty tough to eat. Sweets is very rare. I mean, a few beehives, maybe a few flowers that have high contents of nectarine, a few roots that might be sweetened. But on a whole, their diet is pretty bland and pretty bitter. So of course they have a sweet tooth. We will try to take advantage of that, but we will also try to maintain their health and make sure that they don't get tons of it. Well, that pretty well wraps up this this session. Just a few odds and ends. They're probably not aware of our oil drilling, chemtrails, Ebola viruses, and that kind of stuff. They do seem to be very honest, and in some cases they're willing to trade or compensate for anything they take from you. Most of the time they will only sample or make it to where they are not obvious that they've been there. Okay, so you might keep that in mind when you're out there. Be aware of your surroundings, because you never know what they might try to compensate you with. It could be a stack of pine cones, which might be quite something for them, or it might be a pile of wood, or a pile of walnuts, or something like that. So kind of keep aware of your surroundings, of what is there before and what's not there. Okay. So that wraps it up. Until next time, I'm Mitch Waite from MoGeonMonster.com. Good Bigfoot research.